Good afternoon. I'm Neal Murphy. I'm here with Coach Mike Jones again with our pregame talk. And for those who are confused, we actually filmed this about an hour before the game. So I know people were wondering last time we had a tight game with Gonzaga. And they wonder why is Jones out there talking to Murphy? All right, he was inside doing his job. All right. So Mike, coming back here, I know you want to talk about the watch party that's going on today.
Absolutely. So happy and, show so much pride in the brotherhood of DeMatha High School that we had, so many students tune in last Thursday night. We had Mr. Reyes was the winner of the Nike gift. We're going to do the same thing again tonight. Shout out to Mr. O'Connor for organizing this with Dylan, who's, I guess, it was his original idea. And
Right.
then I know Mr. Tomey and Mr. Smith and the House Cup competition and all of that goes into it. Go Offit House. Go Offit House. I need someone from Offit House to win the prize
I'm
today.
also off at house, so yeah.
So, yeah, we need somebody from Offit House to win. But there's no bias at all. Like, don't worry about that.
Well, it was neat on Friday that energy was back in the building. We're still on hybrid, not everybody's there, but people talking about the game and making plans for Saturday's game. So that was neat to see. The other thing I wanted to mention was we talked about it. I forgot to bring it up. Earl Timberlake. You had a visit from him the other day.
Yep.
How's Earl doing?
Earl's he's coming along. I know he came up here. Obviously, anytime he gets to come home, see some family. But anytime guys come into town, they want to stop by DeMatha. So Earl was here. He got to see Wendy, got to see some of his former teammates, and then obviously us as his former coaches. It was just great to see him, see the smile on his face. When he took the mask down to speak, he said a couple words to our team, really briefly, and we're just so proud of him. He's a little nicked up right now, but he's going to come back better than ever, and we know Earl will be playing this game for the next 15, 20 years. So.
Yeah, I managed to talk to him for a couple minutes, and you could just see in his eyes that he understood the connection he has with DeMatha now. Sometimes when they're here, they don't realize it, and then they go away. He was just happy to be back, to see Wendy and all the other people. It's fantastic.
And once again, shout out to Wendy. I mean, I know I've said it here before, but, the impact she has on these young men to make them, if they're going to see one person when they come back to campus, it's going to be Wendy Norris.
Mm-hmm.
More than any teammate, more than any coach, they're going to make sure Wendy, they get, just to get the positive vibes that they get from her. So shout out to her.
Well, they don't want to deal with Wendy if they don't see her.
Exactly.
Because she will track them down.
Yep.
Sophomores, we did a couple the other day. We got a couple more to go.
Yeah, the future here is bright, very bright. We've got plenty of guys that are obviously great student athletes. They get it done in the classroom, and some of them play more than one sport. So the guys that we didn't get to mention the other day, Isaiah Arnold, who I've known him pretty much his whole life. I played with his dad. His dad and I played on the last undefeated team here at DeMatha. Very proud of that. So, class of 1991 representing vicariously through Isaiah on this team. Great shooter, has a bright future here at DeMatha.
He shoots it like his dad.
Yes,
when he
does.
shoots the ball, it's Mike.
And his dad was a very good shooter, so a great shooter even. Jaden Winston, again, another DeMatha family member, has been around our program since as far back as I can remember, always in camp. And again, he's someone who, again, under the circumstances this year, a lot of our sophomores are kind of biting the bullet a little bit because we're trying to do so much for the upperclassmen because of COVID and their opportunities to be seen and things like that. And we know the sophomores are going to have plenty of opportunity to do that. So Jaden is one of the guys that's sacrificing this year so that the older guys can get a little bit more burn. But Jaden figures very much into our plans in the future. I can say the same thing about Jeremiah Quigley. He is one that plays football and basketball here. He is tough. If you see Elijah Hawkins and what he's able to do on the floor, we're looking for JQ to be able to step into that same role of hawking the ball, being able to get into the lane and create for others because he's just a really tough guard that we know, again, has a very bright future on the football field and on the basketball court. Ben Woodward, a transfer to us from Georgetown Prep, a kid that we tried to get here to come here as a freshman. One of the elite shooters in our area. And again, he's adjusting to WCAC basketball, but if you ever came and watched us practice and watched the things he's able to do, his day's coming. But again, he's one that is definitely, it's so unselfish to watch our guys be so unselfish and purposeful in their sacrificing for the older guys because they understand the situation. So, but Ben also knows that his day's coming, and you know, I can't wait to see it. We have not had a shooter like Ben here since we had Nate Darling, so very much looking forward to the continued progression that he makes. And then we had a couple other guys that we didn't mention when we mentioned the juniors. Aaron Roverson, who's hurt, he will not be playing this year, but Aaron was on our varsity last year as a sophomore. Again, very bright future for him. And then Bryson Hill is a program guy. He was on our freshman team as a freshman. He was on our JV team last year as a sophomore. And he is one of the hardest workers we have. Anytime we need some energy, we know we can get it from Bryson. And we're, again, looking forward to him being a huge contributor in his senior season with us.
Okay, now I got to read from this so I don't leave anybody out. Victor Oladipo, Jerry Grant, Quinn Cook, Markel Fultz, Nate Darling, Jarius Lyles, and I almost left Jeremy Grant off the list. But all those guys, they've got either the NBA or G League on their resume. And they all got there differently. And the reason I almost left Jeremy Grant off the list is he's 6'9". He walks through an airport, they're thinking there's an NBA player. The other guys, our size are small, under 6'5". And the reason they got there, skill development. They got better while they were here. How important is that to your program?
It is a tremendous focus that we have, and I am so happy that we've always put a focus on that. But to be honest with you, we took our skill development to a whole nother level when David Atkins was on our staff. He started the Breakfast Club here. He started the idea of guys coming in and getting shots up before school, and so many of our players really took advantage of that and took advantage of the opportunity to really just take the time with the coach and to really pour into developing their game and all of their skills. And it was something that has withstood the test of time. So long after Coach Atkins has been gone, it's something that we've continued. And again, I couldn't be more proud of the work ethic. And it's the greatest thing is to watch those guys do it, so it's so much easier for our guys to do it now because they know that it was successful in helping those other guys achieve their goals.
And they all got there differently. Some guys like Jarius and Quinn, I think, were on the varsity as freshmen. My last year coaching, Jerry Grant and Victor Oladipo, they were the postmen on the freshman team, you know? And other guys came in, maybe played JV, but the focus not so much on where they started out, it's where they ended up.
Absolutely.
And that's a tribute to you and your staff.
Well, and the kids. I mean, they put the work in, and anytime that, you know, you can hear guys set a goal and then have them achieve that goal. One of the coolest things as a coach is to be able to hear those guys when they're 15 years old talking about they're going to play in the NBA, and then a few years later, they're in the NBA.
I gave you 2 days to think about it. Who you got for the Super Bowl?
All right, so it's going to be a very high-scoring game. I'm going to root for the Kansas City Chiefs, but for some reason, I just think the team that has a better defensive performance at the right time is going to win, and for some reason, I just think that's going to be Tampa Bay. I'm going to root for Kansas City, but if I had to pick,
basically no decision.
If I had to pick a winner, I'm going to say Tampa Bay is going to win, but I'm rooting for Kansas City.
All right, Mike, this is great. Thanks, and we'll see you again on Wednesday.
Absolutely.